one of the things that I've been struggling with is that we haven't really world built. We've done a lot of character build, but we haven't really done like
Yeah.
what caused the zombie outbreak, where
Yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah.
and of course it might not be something that the fans ever find out about in the like
No, right.
in it,
Yeah.
but it's something
Yeah.
we need to know so that we can make sure we're
Yes.
playing the scene the right way for if we do
Yeah.
eventually do sequels or novellas or anything that's like
Yeah.
related, because we want
Yeah.
everything to still feel like it's part of the same story.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, 100%. You've definitely nailed it, is that we've spent a lot more time on the character development and just trying to get the story going than we have on the world building itself. The goal is to just get the episode out. At
Yeah.
this point, just get the episode out.
Okay, we got this.
Okay. Ready?
All
All
right.
right. Hey guys. Oh wait, I'm gonna redo it. Hey guys, this is the Untitled Workin' Podcast. I'm Lauren.
And I'm Darcy.
And as you can tell, we are far away from each other, but not that far, just not in the same building.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of travel and projects and stuff over the last little bit. So now just to keep on track with our release schedule, we're going to do a virtual one.
I just went to push up my glasses and I'm not even wearing them.
Oh my
But yes,
gosh.
virtual.
Yes. Oh my gosh. The things that change when you're not in the room.
Really, honestly. The vibe is so
Yeah.
weird.
I know, right? It's like
Yeah.
it's weird not to have like you physically here to like riff off of.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, so what have you been working on? What's your where are you at with your work in progress? Your whip?
My whip. So I've got a notebook outline of the first two chapters of like things that I've been having while I'm at work because I've been on the teller line. Things are crazy. So I've got that kind of like an outline of, which is funny because you outlined the chapter, but I have like an outline of the outline of the outline of the story. So,
Well,
um,
to be fair, you as the novel writer have a lot more like space to tell more story.
that's true. Um, but so I have that. I'm working on that. I should have the second chapter, or first two chapters done by Saturday, so
Sweet.
that'll be good. Um,
Nice.
and then I had a story that came to me last night while I was dreaming.
Oh,
So
fun.
that's been like brainworming me. So,
Ah, tell them to
um,
go away until
I
Matilda talks to you.
I know I'm like stop brainworming me. I'm focused. But and then pretty much the same stuff that I've been working on previously as well.
Okay, very fun. Nice.
Well, what about you?
I am working on Unholy Vows. We'll get it. Well, I guess this is probably where I'll talk about goals, or is that later in the episode?
Uh, that's later in the
Oh,
episode.
okay. Well, never mind. I'm not gonna tell you guys now then. Just gotta wait.
That's
Working
like
on
the
Unholy
end of the
Vows.
episode.
Oh my gosh. I feel like it's been so long since we've done this, and I think we only like it's only been like a week because of traveling and stuff, but it feels so
Yeah.
much longer. Okay. Anyways, back to our regular programming.
So, what are you working on?
Good question, Darcy. Thank you. I have been working on Unholy Vows, working on the outline for the second act more specifically. And then actually, I have been working with some writer friends on a project.
Ooh,
It is the project may be, we'll see what it ends up being because it's going to go through the pitching elements and everything. But the thought of the project is that it'll be a feature film and then a spin-off series. So we'll
ooh,
have a feature that leads into a series, theoretically. So we've got the first like three-quarters of the torch done. And
nice.
then there's one or two more scenes that need to be shot. And then we're just kind of trying to do some world building right now for it. So that's kind of all I can say at this point and keep it as vague as I can. But yeah, I've been busy with that and then trying to be consistent about writing and then unholy vows. And then I've also been working on the one pagers for all of the projects that I want to have in my pitch binder. So that when I go into conversations with people that are looking for stories or projects, I've got like bada 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 and be like, what do you
Nice.
want? So that's actually been kind of fun. I've gotten to revisit some very old projects that are only like that are still relevant, but they just need some tweaking. But it's been kind of fun.
That's cool. I like that. That sounds like a lot of fun,
Yeah.
actually.
Yes. Oh my gosh. It's been really cool. So anyways, yeah, that's kind of
Uh,
it. Nothing too crazy.
I'm really glad you're such an organized person because I'm not.
Mm, yeah. Yeah, I get too organized sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, where it's like, "Oh, let me organize that." It's like, "No, you just need to do it." And I'm like, "No, no, there's some more organization that needs to happen before I do anything." And it's like, "No, Lauren, you just need to do it."
Yeah, I'm like the other end of the spectrum where I'm just like, it's a thing. It needs to get done. It'll happen. It definitely will.
Mhm.
That's
Mhm. Yep.
next section is
Pen to paper.
pen to paper. Okay. So
So
with
in our
pen,
pen to paper segment, Darcy,
yes.
were you gonna say that? Okay, you say that actually. Well,
No,
I'll
no,
cut
no.
that out.
No, you can say it. Now
Wait, but what's the topic? What are we focusing on? I forgot.
oh yeah. Okay, so in the okay.
Mhm.
So in the pen to paper section, this week we are talking about world building.
Yes. Oh my gosh, my favorite thing ever.
Yes, my least favorite thing ever.
Is it really?
Yes, I was on the ride home. I was on the ride home today and I was thinking about it. I was like, oh, this is going to be an interesting episode because Lauren really likes world building
Yeah, I
and
love it.
I don't. I like people building.
Oh, you like the character development side of things.
Yeah.
And we both don't like dialogue, so this will be really interesting. These will be the most moving characters, the most cinematic universes, and the worst dialogue you've ever heard.
What's your
You're gonna
name?
be like, Chat GPT wrote this.
Oh no. And then it's like one of those things where it's like, no, this was definitely made by two human people.
Oh no, it'll definitely be written by two human people. And
We did our best and it sounds fake.
actually, okay, on that topic, just as like a slight, tiny little rabbit trail, the
Okay.
itty bittiest rabbit trail ever. I was talking to one of my friends who's a writer, and every time I would pitch him something, he'd be like, "Okay, now read it out loud," and I would read it out loud and be like, "Oh, that doesn't. Nope, we're gonna rework that." And he's like, "Okay, okay," or sometimes I'd read it, I'd be like, "Oh, that actually flows pretty well," or like we'd keep doing it. So now I'm wondering if like when I go to like edit the novel chapters, I think I'm gonna try and read it out loud, like either the second pass through or maybe the first, but probably the second pass through. Just do the first for like enjoying the story and like absorbing the world that you're, the story you're telling, the world you're building. And I think the second time I'll read out loud to just like kind of try and practice. And I'll do that to myself too for like the script and everything to get like dialogue better. But that was a really fun trick that he taught me.
Yeah, so actually that is how I always go through my editing process with my like fix that I write. I always
Mm-hmm.
read it out loud to somebody.
Oh, fun. Because then you get
Yeah.
to like real time response feedback and stuff.
Yeah, and then I
Yeah.
also am catching like where I'm like, oh, this reads weird. So,
Yes. Yes.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. I would love to do a table read just for the script at some point, just to get feedback on it, not even for like the official table read. Like that would just be fun to get to like see people bring it to life in a way.
Yeah, yeah, 'cause it's funny too 'cause with scripts they don't always like when you're reading it it always sounds funny. Like I vividly remember like in the show that we worked on together, the movie we worked on together, there was a lot of
Yeah.
usage of the word like bitch, and I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
there's that one specific scene, and I think you know which one I'm talking about, where I was like, this
Yeah,
is
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
read like this women don't talk like this. When I watched it, the actors made it a believable like interaction.
Did they? Okay, that's
Yeah.
good.
So good to know like sometimes scripts might read weird, but then like when the
Yeah.
actors do it, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
that works.
It's all right. It's
Yeah,
okay.
it's
Yeah, there was a few
okay.
times I read that script and I was like, this scene doesn't sound like a woman would say it.
Yes, so many times.
I'm glad
Okay.
it actually came through though.
Yeah, it actually turned out pretty good. Um,
Nice.
but I'm grabbing Peter Cottontail by the foot and I'm pulling him out of the
Yes,
trail.
thank you,
Um,
thank you. The tiniest little rabbit trail started to
yeah.
expand there.
World building.
Yes.
So I know we kind of touched base a little bit on it with your writer's block and how you were like, oh, I'm
Hmm.
gonna make a map. But
Yeah.
if you don't do like a map and you're like truly like creating a world from
Yeah.
scratch,
Hmm.
um, do you tend to lean towards creating a completely new world in your writings, or do you tend to lean towards
Mm.
taking from the real world?
That's a good question. I thinking back over what I've written, I think I really like reading worlds that have been invented, but I think where I'm at level wise in my work, I think right now it leans towards taking the real world and then changing it in some capacity.
Okay.
Because like I have a Christmas story that's about two sisters, and it's not necessarily set in any particular city, but there's like unique elements to it that make it fun and engaging and interesting. Or like Grilled, the coming of age story that we've talked about a little bit. Like that one exists in the real world, but it's just I don't know if that story is happening actually, anywhere kind of a thing. So there might be some elements to it that are just like it's unique in the sense of like some of the set pieces. And others like Unholy Vows, it's like it's a zombie, so it's based in the real world, but it's a somewhat dystopian future kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So I think I'm trying to think of something I've written that's well, no, so like when I get into like yeah, hmm. So I have another project called If You Are Willing, and it's set in the real world, but there's almost like a Twilight Zone element to it where there's a pocket that's kind of outside of time and space, and that's all I'll say about it. So it's grounded in the real world of like going through like real people, like real types of stories, like a very human interest type story. But then there's elements of it that just exist completely outside of that. But it doesn't. It feels like it exists outside of it, but it still feels somewhat grounded. So I think that's probably the best way to my meandering to wrap that up. The best way to probably describe what I'm writing currently or what I've been writing is more of like grounded fantasy or like realism with a twist.
Okay. Yeah. I think I kind of lean more in that direction too. Um,
Yeah.
I I have been trying to. So the novel that I've been working on for like years and years and years,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, I've revamped it. So I've actually kind
Mhm.
of tried to take it out of our world and put it into its own fantasy world.
Yeah.
Um, I found that's exceedingly difficult if you don't actually take a large portion of your time leading up to it in
Mhm.
creating the world before you even start writing.
Yeah.
Um, but there's also a fine balance because, so for example, you take like, what is it, A Court of Thorns and Roses. I think it's,
Mhm.
you take that, she's created a whole new world, the author, right? And she's
Mhm.
created this fantasy element. The world's different, it's built differently, it's spread out.
Mhm.
Obviously, there's
Yeah.
still like touches of reality in it. Um,
Okay.
but she does a really good job of being not overly, here's the world, and here's this, and here's this, and
Yeah.
here's this.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
on the counter of that, you have the Crescent Moon novels series that's by the same author.
Oh,
Very,
okay.
very world heavy in the beginning.
Mm. Yeah.
Um, and I found that there's like, it's really hard when you're writing fantasy to like build the
Mhm.
world and then not want to tell everybody about the world, but you lose the readers a lot. I've like, that's a
Mm.
common thing within like reviews that I've noticed where people are like, gosh, too much world building.
Mm, mhm. It's almost like here's an encyclopedia. Here's the Silmarillion. You're like,
Yeah.
what story am I reading here? Nothing.
Yes.
I'm reading about the laws of elves. Okay, cool.
Because
Oh,
I think personally, when I read,
yeah.
um, what I try to translate into my writing is I very much like to learn about the world as it's um relevant to what's happening to the main character. Like I
Yeah.
don't I don't need like a whole breakdown of like what's going on in this universe leading up to this point in time. I just need
Yeah.
like the protagonist is going through whatever they're going through, and then something happens, and it's just like, oh, well, in this world, this blah 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 blah, and then it
Yeah. Yeah.
explains it. I think
Hmm.
as a reader, that reads more cohesive to me and keeps me
Yeah.
within
Yeah.
the world. And
Hmm.
as a writer, I found a very hard time balancing that.
Right? Because you're like, let me tell you everything about it.
Yeah.
I I think when I'm thinking about even some of the other projects that I've worked on that are a little bit more fantasy realm or just like sci-fi, I think what you're talking about makes sense of just like establishing the rules of the world. Because I think that's the one thing that drives me crazy about like movies or stories that aren't good at world building is that they just start using things as like plot devices. And you're like, wait a second, that wasn't allowed to do that 5 chapters ago or 2 scenes ago. And now all of a sudden they can do it. It's like, I don't know about that. So yeah, establishing the boundaries and the rules of your world when you're world building is super, super important because otherwise your characters are like, if you write yourself into a jam, then you have to kind of like go back and unravel it to see where the knot started. But if you don't have established rules, you're never going to be able to find the knot because it's just going to be like this big old like zigzag of stuff that's just not cohesive.
Yeah, I think because even in something that's based, in my opinion, like in the real world, um you really do, you have to establish that because you will
Yeah.
back yourself into corners, and then all of a sudden you're like, I can't just create something that doesn't make sense within this world to use it as
Mm-hmm.
that plot device, because then people are going
Yeah.
to be like, plot hole. And
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
one of the harder things. I've noticed that a lot because that comes up a lot in like TV shows. Like when you're writing a TV show, you have so many
Mm-hmm.
plot holes because when it goes
Yes.
on for years and years and years,
Yeah.
you kind of start to lose lose the
Yeah.
plot.
Yeah. Yeah. That's okay. So that's actually what we're doing on this other project that I'm working on with my friend is that, and I have to be really careful what I say because it's very much in like the beginning stages of development and like trying to get it out to investors and stuff. So let me think through this. We have been working on this since probably February, very casually from since February, and only recently have really, really started to dive into it as being like, we need to like dig into this and establish this world because we so far up to this point have kind of established some general elements, but then when the other writer, my friend and another one of his buddies sat down and started to build out some stuff, the things they built out got me way more excited about the whole premise of the story than what we've already talked about. And then we started brainstorming and finessing some other stuff and just even nailing down the log line better gave us like this whole another like, oh, there's a whole new direction this way. And it's so much clearer and more exciting. And so it was just like, yeah, I think getting really, really deep into the world itself will help you be able to navigate any of those problems that come up. So you're like, oh, if this were to come up, this character would address it this way, and then this would happen. And then if you don't like what happens and you're like, oh, well, the character died, I guess that doesn't work. Then you have to go like work your way backwards and be like, okay, what thing needs to happen to help us navigate it? Do I need to introduce a new character that helps that character get out of that situation? Do I need to add something else, or does this character need to make a different turn on the path that they're going on to make it make sense?
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, because I think like talking about like meeting up and like doing all that stuff where you talk it all out and everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's, I know we have plans to do that because one of the things that I've been struggling with is that we haven't really world built. We've done a lot of character build, but we haven't really done like
Yeah.
what caused the zombie outbreak, where
Yeah. Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and of course it might not be something that the fans ever find out about in the like in
No.
the
Right.
in it,
Yeah.
but it's something
Yeah.
we need to know so that we can make sure we're
Yes.
playing the scene the right way for if we do
Yeah.
eventually do sequels or novellas or anything that's like
Yeah.
related, because we want
Yeah.
everything to still feel like it's part of the same story.
Yes. Yeah. 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 No,
Yeah.
100%. You've definitely nailed it. Is that we've spent a lot more time on the character development and just trying to get the story going than we have on the world building itself. And I don't know that I would do it differently for co-writing because I think there's an element where like we needed to be on the same page for whose story we were telling, but some of the problems we're running into might be because we haven't established the whole world itself. Yeah, and I don't know, there's some elements that are just super fun about just sitting down with someone and doing that. And I think as far as like the practical way I tackle that is by asking questions. So for like my co-writing friend, I'm just like, okay, well then why does that exist? How does someone do this action if this exists? Because that existence of that thing would stop them from doing this action. And it makes us
Yeah.
like address it. It's almost like when I go into like these world buildings and like meetings and stuff or like scenarios, I'm always asking myself like what would like cinema sins rip apart from this? Like if they were to watch this movie
Yeah.
or read the story, how would they rip it apart? Like what just doesn't make sense? And so like stuff like that where you're like, okay, if someone's like a critic or just like really good at spotting those things, like what are they gonna see? And then finding your way around it and being like, well, that doesn't make any sense. So now I need to go and ask this. I think just asking questions constantly, like why, like being like a 5 year old, an annoying 5 year old, and be like, why is this guy blue? Why is the character do this? Why do they do that? How can they do this? That would stop them, wouldn't it? And like,
Yeah, like why I don't know if this is what we're going with our zombies, but like why don't the zombies decay? Why do they kind of look normal but sort of like not normal? Like what is was it a parasite? Was it
mm-hmm.
a dormant gene that people had? Like what all
Sure,
about
yeah,
it?
yeah,
Because I think that
yeah.
helps with like creating a baseline so you know like especially
Mm-hmm.
like with the zombies too if you think about it like
Mm-hmm.
the way they get infected whatever it is that causes that infection is going to
Yeah,
play a huge part in how they respond to outside stimulus
right, right.
so that
Yeah.
creates a world within the world.
Yes. Well, and it's especially going into Act Two, it's so critical that we have this established because we go from Matilda's world and then we throw the Upside Down, which is a more zombie laden, but not more. Well, maybe more, maybe equal. It's just a very different zombie realm. And so it's just like there are all these elements of when we step into that world, if we don't already have established what happened, how we got here, what their rules are, like we're going to be very confused as to what they can do, or they're just going to become plot devices. And it's like, I want them to be around for like a good laugh. Like I want people to laugh when the zombies show up, not because the makeup's terrible or anything, but because it's the stuff that happens when they show up is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it's also like, if we don't establish that, then there's just going to be these gross things wandering around making things happen in the plot.
Yeah, exactly. And they're just a plot device at that point instead of like
Yeah.
being kind of an integral part of why the story is being told.
I mean, how do you do world building, or what are some like practical ways you tackle world building yourself?
So truthfully, like since I do lean more into like the character development portion of things, I build out these characters and who I want them to be, like just their core
Mm-hmm.
values, core beliefs. And then I kind of funnily enough, so I think of the character and then I think of the story that I want to tell, like what the plot is going to be, what the end goal is. And I build
Mm-hmm.
my world around the end goal.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't build this world and then plop the characters because I don't get the world idea first. I get the character idea first. So
Yeah.
I I work with these characters and I talk with these characters and we have these long conversations
Yeah.
and then I'm like, okay, so what's the world like? And they never give me
Mm-hmm.
I don't get that information from the characters.
Interesting.
I
Huh.
get it from the plot. The plot is what talks to
Okay.
me about what the world should be. So my biggest thing that I think that like a really good practical tip for world building is make sure you know what the end goal is of the story
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
first, because if
Mm.
you build an elaborate world, you may build a world where that end goal is no longer capable of happening. So you want to
Yeah.
make sure you build the world around the plot, around that end goal, that
Mm.
lesson, that main thing that you want to get to.
Yeah.
That's my advice. But
Yeah. See, it's funny because I do it so differently. It's like in a perfect world when I'm focused and sitting down and like actually tackling it. It's like the idea comes and usually it's like a scene or it's a concept or it's, some characters or whatever. And while I ascribe an end goal to it, like what you're talking about, of like you have this end goal in mind, I try to like build out the world and build out the characters and then see where they go and how they get there. And if they don't get there, being like, well, what is the story they're telling then? Because I don't know. I think there's no one right way to do it, right?
Yeah, of
And so I think it's
course.
just different ways of tackling it and being like, okay, if you're someone who prefers to start with, like, you prefer character development and you know who you want them to become by the end, that makes sense for character development to be like, this is the end goal. The end goal is
Yeah.
them to become this person. So yeah, versus like world building, it's like, well, let me build and establish this world and see what happens. Because maybe they're gonna fall in a pit halfway through and we're
Yeah,
gonna have a different story to tell.
because one of my biggest issues is genuinely like world building because I take the characters and I just write the story. Like I
Mm.
don't plan. So this whole process of us like planning this out and everything, I don't do that. I grab that
Yeah, yeah,
character and I start writing. And I always have to go back and then
yeah.
create more of that world around my characters because I always run into the issue of
Hmm.
I didn't build the world. I
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
told the story.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think for us as co-writers, I'm trying to approach this as because I know you're like a pantser and I'm a planner. And so I'm trying to like approach this of like, let me plan the framework and then just give it to Darcy to run with and have enough framework to be able to like have a cohesive, like almost like a documentary. Like the team goes
Yeah.
in and they've got their subject material and they kind of know where they're going. And if it takes a left turn, they're going to follow the left turn, but instead like just enough of a like they have enough of a framework to know this is where we're heading towards, but it may change
Um, uh,
anyways.
anyways, enough framework, yeah, so that we can do
Yeah,
what needs to be done.
yeah, 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 yeah. So
But
yeah.
yeah, it's helpful having a co-writer that does stuff like that because it really keeps me like in a place like the characters can't run away from me. So like it
Mm-hmm.
definitely helps with that, just with the way that I write. It's so
Yeah,
funny. We have such different writing styles.
very, very different, but hopefully they're more complementary than anything else.
Yeah,
That's the goal.
definitely. So what about you? Like, what's your practical application of world building that you think would help people that think like you?
Yeah, I think that if you enjoy world building, and you want to make sure that it's really tight, like that there isn't a lot of gaps or areas where the story itself will fall apart either before you get into it or while you're getting into it. I would say you can do this yourself, but it's more beneficial to do it with other people. But find some people that you trust in the writing space or that you trust to give you good feedback, and then have them just ask you questions. Just like field questions, almost like you're pitching the story to them, like you're in a pitch meeting, and just be like, "Here's my log line," and then have them like, "What do you think of it?" And they're gonna be like, "What the heck is this woman doing biking across America to find this guy? Why would she do that?" And you'd be like, "Oh, let me explain that to you." Or like you can kind of explain, give like a summary of the story, and then have people just like, to be honest, rip it apart. You have to have a little bit of a thick skin around it, but just hopefully they're nice about it. But that would be my practical advice: is like get the story in front of people you trust and have them just ask question after question after question, and then like take notes. Either like have an audio voice memo thing recording it, or write the stuff down, or film it. I know some people will film like every meeting because they
Okay.
really, really, really want to just be able to go back and be like, I saw you light up when you talked about this part. So I know you were really excited about it. Or, I could tell based on like your body language. Some people get really analytical on it.
Hey.
But yeah, that would be it.
Okay,
How
yeah.
about you?
Well, really like kind of a similar thing. Having people
Hmm.
to bounce off of, people that you trust that
Yeah.
will like kind of give it to you as it is, and they won't just be like, "Oh my God, that sounds so good." Because I've had plenty of
Yeah.
people like that with like my writing. But definitely having like a really like solid, trustworthy, even if it's just one person that you can just bounce
Yeah.
all of these ideas off of. They don't even have to like.
Yeah.
They don't even have to like give a shit about the concept as a whole. Like
Yeah.
even that can help. I mean, just somebody that you can be like,
Yes.
this is what's gonna happen, and they can be like, okay, but
Hmm.
why?
Yeah. 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 And I will say also on top of that is, and this might be a different topic for a different time, but like have a tight log line. And we can talk about log lines down the road too, and summaries and pitches. But just pitching, like you said, something you said just triggered this in my mind of like pitch it to people who don't care about your concept. Like for us, we have a zombie rom com, so we should go find people who only want to watch historical dramas and be like, "Can I pitch this to you for just a second?" Like literally just friends and family, or if you want to throw it online, throw it online. But like, just throw out the log line or a short summary of the story or the concept and be like, "What do you think?" Because the feedback you'll get will be really good in the sense that if they're not your target audience and they are interested, it's an interesting enough concept to pique their interest. And then if you find someone who might be in your target audience and start pitching those people, then you'll be able to see what they're actually interested in, or if it's like a cursory interest just because they like that genre or like whatever.
Yeah, no, I think that's great because that's what I did with my roommate, and like she had
Yeah.
a whole different like point of view on it. She's like, this
Yes.
sounds like something that I'd be able, as somebody who is homeschooled with evangelical people, like
Yeah.
this was something that I could have still like seen and
Yeah.
possibly like taken in, and I could have consumed this media because it still like has a religious base to it. And I was like, I thought that was
Mm-hmm.
kind of cool because that kind of
Yeah.
like gives us a broader sense of like, okay, so this world not only does it need to cater to adults, but we should also possibly try in some ways to cater towards the younger generation that
Mm-hmm.
need something where they can still consume something kind of fun, but
Yeah.
it still fits into like what it needs to.
Like a PG-13 rating. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Trust me,
Yeah.
if I have any say over the zombies, they won't be gross. But then again, I don't need to have a say over the zombies. Whatever target audience likes the zombie that's made is fine. Like,
They don't have to be. It's a rom com. They can't be gross. It'll take you out of the
yeah, like
fun elements.
yes, 100%. There needs to be like a rosy glow. We just need to put like a filter over the lens for the camera that's like a rosy glow color, just sparkles
Yes,
and lens flares everywhere.
perfect. The zombies
Oh my
like
gosh.
like wear funny hats. Like
Oh my gosh.
I know this structure was a little bit different for us because I know world building's like that's very like specific to an individual
Yeah,
and like the story they're telling. So I think world
for
building is
sure.
one of those things. Really, just the best advice is what you said. Find people that you can bounce it off of and talk to about it.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
that's the best way to build that world. And then people will ask you questions
Hmm.
like, you have a heist novel. Okay, so
Yeah.
what are they afraid of? Are they afraid to get in trouble with the law? Or are they afraid to get
Hmm.
in trouble with the establishment? Is it revenge?
Hmm.
Is it what about the world around them makes it so they feel like they have to do this heist? But like
Hmm.
what makes that danger factor? Because like in a heist you need that danger factor of like if they get caught, something will happen.
Yeah, that also kind of leans a little bit into character development, but I totally hear where you're coming from of like, what is it about that world that's dangerous, or what is it about the world that exists that's pushing them in that realm of like, is it finances? Is it family expectations? Is it, them trying to prove something to themselves? You know,
What like
yeah, good.
oh, I was just gonna say like what are the laws around like things like is there a law against theft?
Yeah,
Or is
yeah,
it just this establishment that they're stealing from that has specific things? Like it's
yeah,
all
yeah, yeah.
but it helps to have those
Hmm.
conversations with a person.
Yes, yeah. There's a movie that came out in like early 2010s called Law Abiding Citizen. I haven't seen it, so I can't like caveat any of the content of it specifically, but I know the premise of it. But the premise of it is really, really good, where it's like this guy, I don't know if he's a hitman or whatever, but he's taking revenge for something, and he's doing it in a way that is he's finding all the legal loopholes to do it. And so like
That's cool.
that's some serious world building even within our current world. And so like you have to establish like these are the laws, these are the things that he's doing to get around the law. So it's not technically illegal, but he is still doing things that you shouldn't be doing.
Yeah.
um
Yeah,
so
because
yeah, stuff like that.
I think a lot of world building is also very synonymous with character building because obviously the world's going to affect the way this character thinks, so the way they were brought up,
Yeah.
who they are as a
Yeah.
person.
Right,
So
right. Yeah. Are they, did they grow up in a lower income area? Did they grow up in a higher income area? Did they grow up being told that they were everything? Did they grow up being told they were nothing? Like,
yeah,
yeah, there's a lot of interwoven elements to that for sure. Um, yeah.
yeah, I think that's good. I like I would love if our listeners have any advice on like what they do for world building, just because that's something
Yeah,
that I'm not as well versed in. Um,
yeah,
like speaking about it, I guess, and giving advice on it. Like I have my own way of doing it, but it doesn't always work because there's millions of
yeah,
novels I've started that I've never finished.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. We
if
are gonna
any
finish this one.
we oh yeah, 100%. Um, but if we have like any listeners that like have experience in like what they do,
Mhm.
even if it's like a
Yeah.
super niche thing that they do that they want to share, I would love to hear
Hmm.
other people's like advice on world building.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. If you've done any world building or if you've done some things that have helped you with world building, definitely drop some comments below and let us know what you did. I will say that I don't have a resource available for anyone, but I am hoping like down the road that after we've done some good world building for this and it's published and everything, that I can go back and kind of see what we did to world build and then maybe create like a PDF resource that people can take and use potentially when they're world building as well. Because I think there's elements too of just like there's just some random questions that like if you can answer that, like that just gives you a really good establishment of like what your world is like. Tell me about like the geography. Tell me about the types of food that people here eat. Like things that again, like probably will have nothing to do with the story you end up telling, but just knowing that in the back of your mind is such an important like piece to being able to flesh out a more vibrant world.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I think that's a really good idea. I also this is something that's going to be more down the road once it's everything's more established too. But I'm thinking about
Mm-hmm.
possibly doing like a sort of like domain for the podcast itself for like writers, like a like some kind of like
Mm-hmm.
group where like people who listen to
Yeah.
the podcast can go and like get advice from each other and talk to each other about stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, so I definitely think that's something that I'd like to eventually establish for
Yeah.
our listeners.
Yeah. I just a writing community in general is so nice to have.
Yes, so nice to
Yeah.
have.
I will say, as a small, slight rabbit trail tangent, which we will keep very, very small. I that is the biggest thing that drew me to Wattpad, and the biggest thing that pushed me away from Wattpad when they got rid of. Like them having those forums to go on and talk to people, like was huge. Like I met so many authors through that because I was offering editing and stuff, and just getting to read stories and getting to know the way other people wrote and world built. And then when they nixed it, I was like, there's no way for me to connect with anyone on here except maybe in the comment section, but then the comment section goes nowhere. Like you just a couple of comments and that's it. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's one of my big draws to Tumblr. With like fan
Mm-hmm.
fiction and stuff, because you establish
Yeah.
that fan fiction, but then you start talking about like your personal like works that you're working on, and
Yeah.
you already have
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a writing community. So I
Yeah.
totally
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
that, and I think there's not enough like writing communities. So
Yeah. The ones that I've found that are like workshops and weekend retreats and stuff are like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars.
so
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 ridiculous. But
so much.
yes, someday down the road we'll figure out a way to facilitate something, hopefully. But yeah.
Yeah,
All right. I think the next what's the next segment? I'm totally blanking.
goals goals for next week.
Okay.
Or the week after,
So
because we have a guest next week.
yes. Okay. Darcy, what are your goals for this upcoming week?
My goals. So, by the next time that we do this kind of us meeting and not one of our guest meetings, I want to have
Mhm.
at least three chapters, at least. But I'm shooting for five.
Yes.
So, by this Saturday, though, I want to have two chapters done. So that's my goal is
Amazing.
by Saturday to have two full
Nice.
chapters fleshed out.
Yeah.
Um, but then when we meet again for our next podcast recording, I want to have at least three chapters. Goal five.
Okay. Super goal. Super goal is 5.
Yeah. What about
I
you?
love it. Okay, so for me, the goals are going to be to write an outline for all of Act Two, and then to do some major, major, major world building with you. Yeah, I think that will help as well, and I think it would be fun. Like I need to set aside the time to do it because it's just it feels a little daunting, but to actually do that map with all the different characters, because I think if I were to have an actual map and then just kind of plop these little icons on there, like this is where these characters are, and then just build out those characters, it will A, make a very robust world for us to dive into down the road or throughout the process, but B, I think it will help ground me in the story a little bit better because I'll have all the rules for the zombies, for the way that those operate and the way that the world operates in this dystopian future, but then also be able to like kind of expand upon it with different personality types within that world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a good goal.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah. It
We're
always
gonna
is.
make it happen.
We got
Yeah.
this.
Oh,
Just like
100%,
our listeners
100%.
got this.
Yes, absolutely. Because it's a work in progress.
It's a process.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Oh
Actually, I
yeah.
guess that's kind of it, right?
Yeah, that's the goodbye. Until next time.
I don't really have anything else. Oh
Me
my
neither.
gosh.
And I think you're about to get kicked out of
I am about to get kicked out, so
we're
I'm gonna have to run. But do we want to do the tagline again? Like, do you want to do it succinctly or just leave it?
I like that. I think it's kind of a little silly. This
Just
whole
leave
episode's a little
it.
silly, so
I know, right? But
some
hey,
good
you know what?
outtakes.
This shows perseverance, dedication. We are making it happen. Hopefully, this shows people that it doesn't have to be pretty, it doesn't have to be smooth, doesn't have to be clean. Just do it.
Yeah, just
So,
literally your I saw a post the other day that I really liked. It was like I shared it like 5 years ago. It's like your first episode of your podcast isn't going to be good. Your first draft of your
yeah,
novel isn't going to be good. Do it
yeah.
anyways
What about the
because
fifth
it makes
draft?
you happy. Look, we're still figuring it out. We're not
Let's
tech
say the
savvy
first
people.
season, the first
There you go.
season
The
of
first
our
season.
podcast. And maybe someone will take pity on us and help us with the recordings themselves.
Because look,
Oh my gosh.
we're not tech savvy people, but we're still doing it and we're still making it happen.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah. It's a very humbling experience, to be honest. I thought I was more tech savvy than I am.
ugh, mood.
We're making it happen, even if it's not great to start.
If I can get the Google Meet Pro, I can have a tile view and then I can record both of us on the same screen.
See, I know there's a way to do that with all the other. Anyway, that's a
Yeah.
tech thing. That's a side
Anyways,
rabbit trail. I'm
yeah.
gonna get kicked out.
Okay. I'll
But
I'll upload my stuff into the drive.
okay, cool. And I will edit it ASAP so it's ready to go out in about 24 hours.
Oh God. This is gonna be a weird looking episode.
Well, it's honestly kind of a practice run for our next guest episode, so we kind of gotta get it figured out, anyways.
Very true, very true. We'll get it figured
Yee.
out. We got this.
Yes, we got it. We got it. We got it. It'll be great.
We got it.
Perfect. All right. Well, just remember, everybody, it's a work in progress.
Everybody's a work in progress.
Oh, dang it. It's a process.
There you go.
Even this slogan is a process. Oh my
Oh
gosh.
no.
Well,
Alright.
at least we're semi-entertaining.
There, I laugh every time I listen back to our podcast.
Do
So
you? I do
I do.
too. It's so much fun.
It
Like,
is.
honestly, I think that's one of the reasons that I'm not like stressed about the tech part of it is because we just have fun with it. And honestly, it's not the focal point. Like, I'm not trying to put out the most professional podcast. Like, there will be times down the road when that is the case that we're going for, but it's just like we're just having fun.
Yeah. And I think that'll bring in like the long standing people that will listen. Because I
Yeah,
think
hopefully.
they'll have fun with us. So
Yes, that's the goal. We're saving a spot for you right here at the table. The
right here at the
virtual.
table.
Yeah. The peanut gallery. Yeah, send us questions so we can have our peanut gallery section.
Yes,
We
please.
haven't been able to have a peanut gallery segment yet because we haven't had any questions.
No,
Somebody
just
ask us
comments from my
something.
mom.
You know what? I'll take it.
You know
Thank
what? Definitely don't put that in there. That's my last name.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I'll take that out. My bad. Thank you, Darcy's mom.
Doxed by
Yeah.
my own co-host.
Oh my gosh. I forgot. I
All
gotta
right.
go.
Okay.
Get ready to go.
Okay.
All
All right. Bye. All
It's a
right.
work in progress.
It's a process.
Yeah, but
So,
yeah, they they definitely have to be like a part of the furniture of the story of like the
Yeah.
house that's being built, you know? There's
Yeah,
furniture you don't
agreed.
want to sit on.
Yeah. Yeah. Unless you're,
Yeah.
into that. That's a
You
different
turning yourself
demographic
into furniture.
altogether. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Um,
Uh, and so I think that's what I've been trying to do, and I think that's probably what our next like writing session, brainstorm session will probably be like, like trying to like make sure that there's enough framework to give us a common direction together, but
oh,
then
hang
there's
on.
also just like freedom for you.
Your video cut out for a second.
Oh, dang. I might edit this out, but I'm gonna tell you, I shared the torch with one of my friends who's a producer, and he was like, I think Bellamy should be like a 5 or a 6, but when she sees him, he like is glowing like a 10 because he's a human being, not a zombie. I, I was dying. I was like, yeah,
That that could be kind of
that checks
funny.
out.
Yeah, no, fully checks out. He's not a zombie, so he's hot.
No, he's not. Anyways, that was a little side tangent, but
Yeah, no.
I thought that was hilarious.
I love that.
Because
Uh, yeah,
we're like not that far from each other, but we're fully doing this remote.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh gosh, this is gonna be a lot of work to edit.
Oh no. Well,
It's fine. I can crop it. I'll crop it. It's fine. It's not a
we can
biggie.
just do the
And it's
audio.
just the top. It's for real, man. It's fine.
It's fine.
I'll crop it. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Okay.
And you know, worst comes to worst, we'll just do the audio. They're like all of a sudden episodes 1 and episodes 4, it's just the cover photo. There's no video. It's like what happened? We're not tech savvy enough, and creepers
Sorry.
commented on our video.
Sorry, guys. We got creepy comments and Lauren doxed Darcy.
It's all about me, guys. Gosh.
All right.
All right, all
Well,
right. I will keep that in mind.
okay.
I listened to the whole episode before I export it, so I will hear this towards the end, and then when I'm 2 hours into editing this, I'll be like, oh crap. I now also need to make sure I crop everything.
Just just add like a really loud bleep to the thank you, Mrs. Beep.
No, I'll just cut it out and do the Darcy's mom part. Or I'll just cut
Perfect.
that thing. I'll just make it go silent during that part. And then you'll be like, you're doxing me. And people will be like, what?
That's actually hysterical. That would be really funny.
Because I don't have any
Outtakes.
sound effects. I don't have access to any sound effects.
Oh, we gotta get a yeah. Okay, so we gotta get like
We
a
need to make
sound.
money so that we can
So we can
get
like
money to
have
buy
recording stuff.
sound.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my Lanta. All
Uh,
right. I forgot we hadn't shared. Well, yeah, my screen recording's got your email and your last name in it.
Mine doesn't. It just says you.